The Egyptian pyramids are among the world's most iconic and mysterious structures. Built thousands of years ago as tombs for pharaohs and their consorts, these massive structures continue to fascinate and intrigue people to this day. Beyond their impressive size and age, the pyramids hold many secrets and mysteries. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie hidden within the ancient walls of the Egyptian pyramids? Join us on a journey of discovery as we explore the secrets of the Egyptian pyramids. While the iconic pyramid shape is well known, not all pyramids were built with pointed tops. But did you know that not all pyramids were built with a pointed top? Some had flat or rounded tops instead, making them stand out from the rest. Take the Red Pyramid for example, located in Dahshur. This pyramid had a smooth flat top, which was likely intentional. It's believed that the flat top was meant to symbolise the rays of the sun, giving the pyramid an extra layer of meaning and symbolism. The Bent Pyramid, which is also located in Dahshur, has a unique pyramid design. This bent pyramid has a bent shape because it has two distinct angles, a steep lower section and a shallower upper section. The builders of the pyramid are thought to have changed the angle midway through construction, resulting in this unusual design. The construction techniques used to build the Egyptian pyramids remain a mystery, but historians and archaeologists have pieced together some information based on evidence found at various pyramid sites. So, back in the day, the ancient Egyptians didn't have access to modern machinery and equipment like we do today. They had to rely on good old-fashioned manual labour to get the job done. So, when they wanted to build a pyramid, they first had to find a source of high-quality limestone or granite nearby, so they would rely on a technique called quarrying and transportation of stones. Once they found the right quarry, they would use pickaxes and chisels to chip away at the rock and create large blocks of stone. How could they move those massive stone blocks without trucks or cranes, you might ask? They'd use sledges to roll the blocks along a series of wooden tracks, then pull them with ropes. Workers had to shape and carve the massive limestone and granite blocks into the correct size and shape them once they arrive at the pyramid site. They used copper and bronze tools as well as stone hammers and chisels to accomplish this. It must have been a difficult task as some of these blocks weighed more than 80 tons. However, the ancient Egyptians were skilled craftsmen who could create precise cuts and angles in stone. You might have heard the rumours that slaves built the Egyptian pyramids, but that's not the whole truth. It turns out that the ancient Egyptians had a whole system of labour and skilled workers who were paid and taken care of with proper food, shelter and medical care. None of that slave labour nonsense stuff turned out to be true. The ancient Egyptians were a highly skilled and organised society that built those jaw-dropping structures through the hard work and expertise of many dedicated individuals. These big triangular structures were used as tombs for the pharaohs and their wives, and inside those pyramids there are these super elaborate burial chambers where the pharaohs were laid to rest. Picture it like a fancy bedroom, but for dead people. These chambers were loaded with all sorts of cool stuff, like sarcophagi, which are like fancy coffins, and all sorts of other goodies that the pharaohs thought they might need in the afterlife. They were trying to make their tombs as comfortable as possible since they believed that they would be spending eternity there, and everything that they would need, like money and some food, would be going with their preserved mummified bodies. With all that precious jewellery and money, who wouldn't want to break in and get their hands on that? Luckily, the Egyptians thought of that too. These tombs were not just simple tombs and easy to get into, rather it was difficult to get into them. They were built to keep those pharaohs safe from sneaky grave robbers who wanted to steal their treasures, and that's where the hidden passages and chambers come in. The builders of the pyramids knew that people might try to break in and steal the precious items that were buried with the pharaohs, so they designed these secret passages and chambers to keep everything safe. Some pyramids even had multiple layers of security to make it even harder for thieves to get in. Now, these hidden passages and chambers weren't just some simple little tunnels, they were often really intricate and complicated. Sometimes they'd be built at an angle or have traps and obstacles to confuse and deter would-be robbers. And once the pharaoh was safely buried, the entrance to the tomb would be sealed up so that no one could get in. unless, of course, they knew the secret way in. All in all, the hidden passages and chambers in the pyramids are just one of the many fascinating secrets that make these ancient structures so amazing to explore and learn about. Hieroglyphs are a type of writing that the ancient Egyptians used. It's like their own unique alphabet, but instead of letters, they used little pictures and symbols to represent words and ideas. For example, they had a symbol for a bird that represented the sound B, and a symbol for a foot that represented the sound D. They also had symbols that represented things like sun, water, and snake. The cool thing about hieroglyphs is that they weren't just used for writing messages or recording information. They were also used for decorating walls and objects like tomb walls or the sides of temples. The ancient Egyptians believed that the pictures and symbols had special powers and could protect or guide them in the afterlife. So, that's basically what hieroglyphs are. They're a unique form of writing that the ancient Egyptians used, and they're still fascinating to people today because they give us a glimpse into the culture and beliefs of an ancient civilization. The ancient Egyptians thought they'd be taken to the sun god on a boat, and not just any boat, a magical solar boat. The ancient Egyptians believed that the pharaohs who had passed away would travel through the afterlife on sun god Ra's boat. And to make sure that the pharaoh had a boat to ride on, they would build a solar boat and bury it alongside the pharaoh's tomb. The solar boats were made of cedar wood and were often very ornate, with intricate carvings and decorations. They were built to be big enough to carry the pharaoh's body and all the offerings that were left with it. Now, the solar boat wasn't just any old boat, it was a magical vessel that had the power to help the pharaoh on his journey through the afterlife. The boat would carry the pharaoh's spirit across the sky with the sun, helping them to navigate the treacherous waters of the underworld and avoid any dangers. Archaeologists have discovered several solar boats buried near the pyramids, including one at the base of the Great Pyramid of Giza. These boats are incredibly well preserved, and they give us a glimpse into the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about the afterlife. Did you know that the Egyptians were really into stars and astrology? They believed that the stars had a big impact on their lives, and they used them to predict things like the flooding of the Nile and the changing of the seasons. They also thought that the pharaohs were connected to certain stars and constellations, and that by building the pyramids to align with those stars, they could help the pharaohs in the afterlife. What they did was they looked up at the night sky and they found certain stars and constellations that they believed were important. Then, they built the pyramids so that they pointed towards those stars. They did this by carefully aligning the sides of the pyramids with the cardinal directions, north, south, east and west, and then making sure that the corners pointed towards the right stars. It's really impressive when you think about it, because they didn't have any of the fancy technology that we have today to help them with this. They did it all by hand, using simple tools like plumb bobs and sighting rods. So, the alignment with the stars was a really important part of the pyramid building process for the Egyptians. It was their way of honouring the pharaohs and their connection to the heavens, and just one of the many fascinating mysteries of the pyramids. Did you know that the Great Pyramid of Giza was more than just a monument? It could tell time. I'm sure you did not know that. But the way it worked was pretty simple, but also pretty clever. You see, the pyramid was designed in a way that the sun's rays would shine down a certain passage at a specific time of day depending on the season. When the sun was directly overhead, the rays would shine straight down the well shaft and onto the floor of the pyramid's main chamber. This happened twice a year, once during the summer solstice and once during the winter solstice. The pyramid could tell when it was the longest and shortest day of the year, which was pretty useful for the ancient Egyptians, who used the stars and the seasons to guide their farming and other activities. So, it was a pretty impressive time-telling technology from over 4,500 years ago. Despite much research and speculation, the true purpose of the pyramids remains unknown. Some believe they were built purely as tombs, whilst others think they had a more symbolic or religious purpose. Nevertheless, the pyramids continue to fascinate people around the world, and many secrets and mysteries remain to be uncovered. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's video and found it interesting, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be always updated with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.